what's up everyone? Shane here with ROA Off-Road. Today I'm going to do a walk around on the all-new 17 Family. This is the OGE. So this is a brand new 2026 model and there's been a lot of updates. I'm not going to go over every update, but I'm going to go over some of my favorite updates. You know, I was just in Australia with the founder of MDC, and he was towing a 17 Family, and we did some crazy tracks. The thing that I want to focus on a little bit, and it's one of my favorite things, is the power system. It's crazy. So he was firing up a smoker like almost every night. He was cooking us tomahawks. We were treated really well in Australia when we were out with the team, the MDC team. But he was firing up the smoker. What was the other thing he was firing up? It was a French fry, an air fryer. He was doing an air fryer for French fries because my wife loves French fries. But I want to show off the power system in here because it is so cool and it's beautiful, and you get this on all the new units. So come on in. Okay, so first off, what's powering this incredible battery system is there's 875 watts of solar on the roof with exterior solar ports for additional 600s. So you can have 1,475 watts of total solar coming into this trailer, which is incredible. And what it's going to power is your battery system, which I want to show off. This system is just unbelievable. It is just a beautiful system. I've never seen any manufacturer do all their wiring so tidy. I mean, even on their previous models that weren't the extreme off-grids, they had an incredible tidy electrical system. But you can look through here. You have the two 400 amp hour RENOGY Regos. So you have a total of 800 amps of lithium. Everything is just perfectly done in here. I mean, I want to say it's near perfect. I don't know how else you could make this system more tidy. I mean, look at how they put everything through bus bars, and then all of this wiring, they zip tie everything together. Coming through here, look at this. These wires come down here and they connect into these fuses, and you can see they put a zip tie right here just to hold it together. Of course, they have brackets where they, you know, have a hold up this whole platform right here with these 4 different brackets. All of this is done with their Fakata plywood. This whole entire platform is just done so well. If you've ever looked inside of a battery compartment on most trailers, like it's a rat's nest half of the time. You can't even trace wires half of the time. Look at this. You look at this, everything is labeled. These are fuses right here, 3 amp fuse, so you know the size of the fuse, and you know it's for the stereo. Of course you would do that. Why wouldn't you do that? You would think you would do that, but most manufacturers actually don't do that. So you're just popping out the fuses and trying to figure out what's going on, what blew. So everything's color coded in here. I mean, as far as servicing one of these units, it's so easy. They have these custom made brackets. A lot of times you're going to see most trailers just with straps, bungees, you know, it's just crazy. Like these are really nice, and they actually sit into a custom welded platform where they are just held in nice and tight, and they have rubber padding between the metal and the battery, so you're not getting any chafing. Anyways, this is, I mean, MDC does this on all of their trailers, but this is new. This battery system that you're seeing here is new to the off-grid extremes. Now you do have 2 charge controllers over here. You have the MPPT solar charge controller, and then you have the MPPT solar charge controller / DC to DC. So part of your solar array does go through the DC to DC charger, and it also works as a solar charge controller as well. And then the rest of your solar array goes through the MPPT solar charge controller. So some people have been wondering, is one of them enough for that many watts? No, it's not, but that's why they've actually set them up into 2 different solar charge controllers, but one also acts as a DC to DC. The DC to DC is really cool. That's actually something that you get set up on your truck. And so while you're driving, you're able to put a lot of power back into these batteries. Most trailers in America, you're going to be able to charge, you know, a couple amps per hour while driving. This is going to allow you to charge a lot more while you're driving. Now, another thing that I want to point out, which is one of my favorite things, I told you I'm going to focus on some of my favorite items, is the design. Really, really beautiful design. Just a little bit more modern and sleek. When you come back here, you can see they've gone with a black outlets, black charging systems. You have, of course, your lights here. This actually goes out of the way and can lock in the upward position. The nice thing about this is if you have a family, this area kind of duals as a couch area. So kids can kind of hang out right here, pull up their light and just kind of read a book or hang out with the family. Of course, this is also turns into a sleeping area, but some of the design touches right here, you can see they have this nice wood grain look for their new countertops. This is a laminate. It has that appearance of like the butcher block, so it has a very modern look to it. They've also changed the cabinetry to this gray, and it does have a nice shine to it. I don't know if you can get that on camera, but it looks very modern and sleek and beautiful. Also, all the handles are black, and these are all locking latches. I always say you can't call yourself an off-road trailer if you don't have locking latches. You got to be able to lock your latches on your trailer to really be considered off-road. But you can see they carry all the black theme throughout the whole trailer. You can see like they're lighting these lights here, your chargers there, also into the kitchen area. So you move back into here and they've moved that theme of the counters all the way through into this area. And I just love the attention to detail, how they gave us a black sink. It's just really cool, and it just adds to all the detail. Also, these used to be chrome. Now they've moved them to black. When you come into here, same thing. You come in, you have a nice black fixtures, also your shower, everything. And I mean, it might be silly. It's just these are the details that they focused on when they were building the new OGE models. They wanted to have that design flair, and they wanted to carry it throughout the entire trailer. Another thing that I want to point out is black is more expensive than standard chrome because it just costs more. If you go to Home Depot and look at outlets, white outlet versus a black outlets that cost more money. So that is just something, just a little detail to also realize that, you know, because a lot of people, the prices have gone up. That's for a bunch of reasons. One, it's some of it is tariffs. Other things, it's, you know, the massive battery systems, the bigger solar arrays, and also all the details, right? When you get into all the details, everything costs a little bit more when you're putting in nicer components, which I would like to point out, components. That has been another huge upgrade in the OGEs on the 17. First off, I want to point out this awesome TV. This is a smart TV. This is the Jensen. So this is designed for vibration. A lot of people just want to throw any TV in the trailer. These ones are designed to get vibrated when you're going down the road, and they're just stronger TVs. And it is a smart TV, so you can click on your Netflix and get all of your Disney Plus, whatever you do, or hopefully YouTube. Hopefully that's the main thing you're watching is YouTube, right? Yeah. If you're watching this, you better be doing it on YouTube, hopefully. This is also like twice the size. Like the old one was just this teeny little one. And honestly, it wasn't that great. I love having a TV when I'm out camping. I like to go out into nature. I like to disconnect from all the craziness of the world, but at the same time, if it's raining, if it's cold, sometimes it's fun to come in and watch a movie. And also you can pull this out and set it outside and watch it outside if you want. And that's really fun, watching a movie around a campfire. I don't know if you've ever done that. I did that as a child. My dad always had a little generator we'd fire up and have the fire going while we watched a family movie. That to me is like some fond memories as a child, and you can do that. Or the kids can come in here if it's super cold, and the parents can stay out late laughing and telling, you know, crazy things around the campfire that's not maybe kid appropriate, and you send them in here to watch movies. So there you go. Now, another thing I want to point out is the new air conditioner. This goes across for everything. We have a new furnace, we have a new air conditioner, we have new water heaters. So they've upgraded everything to Truma. And if you've watched any of my stuff in the past, you'll know that I love Truma. I think Truma's probably one of the best appliance company in the world for RVs and recreational vehicles. It is a German company, and those German engineers are considered some of the best. This system is one of the most efficient, 13.5 BTU. So you do have really good air conditioning. If you put it on low, it's super quiet. And guess what? So you can actually fire this up, cool down the trailer completely off grid. You don't have to be plugged in. And that is a massive update to the new off-grid extremes, hence the reason why they're called off-grid extremes. You could not run the air conditioner on the previous models. You would have to fire up a generator, or here at ROA we could retrofit it and upgrade your system to be able to do that. But you're talking $10,000 to $20,000 depending on the system that you want to upgrade to. This now comes stock standard straight from the manufacturer from MDC. Another thing that I want to point out is when they moved to the Truma furnace, it is the Vario heat, and this is now a ducted system. Now, to be very clear, I would not consider these off-grid extremes 4 seasons. Now, they have made massive improvements, massive strides to making these more cold weather capable. The first models that came out were not cold weather capable really at all. I mean, they had a little bit of things that they did, add some insulation, had heated tanks, but they've done a lot more things to make these more cold weather capable. And to me, it's like kind of go at your own risk. I've been out camping in these units in 20 degrees, nothing happened. You know, as it got warm during the day, 40, 50 degrees during the day, thawed out things if something froze and they didn't break. PEX is very resilient, but I wouldn't say it's totally 4 seasons. This is something that they've been improving and doing updates. Before, you used to just have a vent at the foot of the bed and the whole bedroom area would just get bacon, right? It would get really hot. Now you have ducts coming through and you have a duct right here at the door, which is great. That's what you want. They've also moved the sensors to right next to the exterior of the door, which is the best place. That's where Truma recommends you put it, is right next to the door on a interior wall. Also, now everything is integrated into the Truma display. So one of the cool things about everything being on Truma is now they've integrated everything into one system. So you have your water here, you have your temperature. I would have normally said heater, but now it's heater or air conditioning. So you can just toggle between each one, adjust your temperature to whatever you want. It's all off grid. So you can fire up the AC, you can fire up the furnace. It's just the nice details. Instead of having 3 different components running off of 3 different buttons, you have everything integrated into one thing. And this is your water, obviously. You can go to turn that on. Another cool thing about the RENOGY system is they have this 1-core monitoring display, and it's super easy to understand what's going on. We're inside the shop, we're plugged in, so our battery is 100%. We're not actually draining the batteries right now. You can go in here and have a bunch of different features or options, but you can click on this and you can see the charger, it's plugged in. Our input volts is 120 volts, which is what we want. There's also some new features that they have in this, and you can actually download this on your phone as well. You have your leveling system, you got to set it up, but this will actually tell you your degrees side to side. All of what's really cool about putting this on your phone is you can kind of pull into camp and pull out your phone and kind of find a level spot before you get to where you're going to unhook and try to get it as level as possible. And you can use that off of your phone or right here. So that's a really cool system to allow you to be able to monitor your batteries and your solar way easier. Another thing that they didn't actually remove is this awesome tray system, which I really like. But come on outside, I want to show you something out here that's very cool. Okay, so on the exterior, I mean, it's beautiful. I love the refresh for 2026 OGEs. The windows now have a tint to them, so that's going to be nice because it's going to give you more privacy, but it's also going to give you a little bit more shade from the sun penetrating inside. They are still the dual pane windows, but these do have now a flush design, so it's nice and sleek. They don't bubble out. The old ones bubble out. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just a nicer, more sleek design, and I think it's beautiful. Of course, we already talked about all the Truma onboard, RENOGY onboard, lots of little details. And I'm not going through everything because even the way they've ducted the heat, the duct from the furnace is going in areas to keep certain areas warm, preventing them from freezing. But there's a lot of things, you know, like we have some updated jockey wheels. There's just little details, but like I said, I'm not going to go over everything. I just want to point out some of my favorite things. One of the things that I've talked with them about, you know, to make these things You can't have your exterior shower, your ports to hook up all your water and fill up. They can't be exposed on the exterior. They have to be recessed behind a door. This is what we do in the US. And that's something that they have done. And they've run a lot of the heating and ductwork in that area. So it helps preventing things from freezing. I mentioned earlier about your solar ports. Now these, you can get exterior solar panels, and you would need to have those regulated. So those panels would have to have a solar charge controller on them to be able to go in there. And then of course we have our water heater. So coming back around, one thing that I really like too back here is that they went to a single tire with a ladder. I think a ladder is way more practical, especially here in the US. I mean, you want to get on the roof and clean those solar panels. Your efficiency goes way down as they get dusty and dirty. You'd be shocked. Get up there every once in a while, wipe them down, and you'll get way more solar. But also, I don't think you need 2 tires in the US. Like, I just got back from my trip in Australia, and I can see why you need 2 tires out there because, oh, man, it's crazy. Like, we did 1,000 miles of washboard dirt roads, and I was rattled. I was in pain at the end of some of these days. My kidneys were like shooken up, and they're like, you need to get a kidney belt. I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, that helps it so you don't, you know, have that same pain. And I was like, just give me ibuprofen or something, because this is insane. But we saw while we were driving to do the Telly track, which is this iconic trail. This is similar to like something like the Rubicon Trail. It's like that iconic trail, top 5 trails in all of Australia. Most people go and do this just with a 4x4 truck or SUV. They don't actually do it with trailers. We went and did this trail with trailers. But while we were out there, I was like, okay, we were seeing trailers on the side of the road busted, right? Axles broken, tires blown. I even had a blowout, not on the trailer actually, it was the Toyota that I was driving. Most of the issues that we actually had were with our tow vehicles. But yeah, that extra spare tire in Australia, maybe you need 2, because you're going out into the Simpson Desert and you're not gonna see a tire place for, you know, thousands of miles. Here in the United States, you can't barely go 100 miles without seeing a service station, tires, or gas station. So I think they are realizing that in the US, there's certain things that, you know, we don't need. Like having 2 tires is kind of a waste, right? I would rather have a ladder to be able to access my roof. And so those are little things that they're learning by collaborating with ROA, and also they listen to their customers. That's something that's so cool about MDC. Like, I spent a month in Australia with the owner and founder of MDC, and the guy is incredible. Like, he cares so much. He goes out, like, we were at his house having, you know, he was cooking up steak dinner for me and also for his customers. There was customers at his house, and he's out cooking them dinner. And he, you know, when you get out and go camping with customers, which we call roamers here, like, they tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, they tell you what they don't like about the trailer. They tell you what they like about the trailer. And I know he goes out, and because I've been out on camping trips with his customers, right? And he listens to that feedback and he sends it to his engineers and say, hey, we need to change this, we need to adjust that. And that's something that's so different from MDC from any other manufacturer that I've worked with, you know, of all the imports that ever come into the US. Like, they're just copying things or sending stuff out there because it looks good, it seems good. But the difference is with the MDC, you've seen this refinement over almost 20 years of them using it, listening to the feedback from their customers, and implementing that into the next year models. And you're just seeing constant little details of improvement. And to me, it's like their motto is escape with confidence. And the truth is, like, these trailers, I was talking with somebody the other day, and I'm like, honestly, they're built more like a tank. Like, I just would trust this trailer. You know, they've really dialed this in over the last 20 years. And it's an incredible product. If you haven't seen it in person, you got to come check them out. We have these units. Well, check before coming to see if we have an OGE in stock. We definitely do have 17s pretty much at every single store. We're located in Colorado Springs, Arizona, Mesa, Arizona, just outside of Greenville, South Carolina, and in Utah. Reach out to us, reach out to one of our stores. reach out to one of the sales coaches and they can help you and answer any questions that you may have. Also, if you want to see some really cool videos, we're releasing walkarounds and video tours from every single one of our stores every single week, multiple a week. So if you want to get on and just get more content on our off-road trailers in general, go check out that. That's the ROA inventory channel. And if you want the full specs and all the details on this trailer, well, you can go and look at our old full tour, which is pretty much, the specs are very similar, or you can go down below and click on the link and download a brochure and it will give you all the updated specs. Thank you so much for watching once again. See you later.
Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Randy at South Carolina ROA Off-Road, RVsofAmerica.com. If you want to know more about this awesome camper you just watched about, click over here. And man, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get updated on all the cool stuff that we're bringing you every weekend on Sunday. Enjoy the adventures.